Now we're rolling. Damage Plan MMA podcast. I'm Jason. As always, my co-host, the voice of MMA in Utah, Mr. Zack Partridge. What up, dog?
What up?
What up? Another Fighter Spotlight podcast today. We are welcoming Mr. David Bollea. Bollea.
Wow.
Did I jack it up?
Yeah, bro. It's all good. We're good.
Damn. What's up, David? How you doing, man?
I'm awesome, man. I'm awesome. It's good to see you guys in person or on Zoom or whatever this thing is. But yeah,
we'll see you tonight too. Yeah, we'll see you tonight too for the weigh-in. So those of you listening, David will be fighting tomorrow night at the Maverick Center Fierce Fighting Championship. So yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about your fight and see how training was going.
Oh yeah, weigh in like Skeletor, fight like He-Man. Let's go.
Oh man. So how's training? Oh, go ahead, Zack.
Yeah, it was a short notice fight, short notice, short camp. Have you done short notice fights before? Like, what's the difference in the vibe around a short notice camp versus a full camp for you?
All right, so I have a shocking confession. I'm a bit of a psychopath. So my former roommate's name is Johnny Parsons, and he got signed to UFC. He just won on Contenders. Yeah, but like he and I would do like no time limit, like death matches in the garage and just fight. You know, and then sometimes he would just have random like friends from out of town, like other gyms and cities coming in. So I'd be like eating cereal in the kitchen, and he'd be like, "Hey, bro, you got your gloves?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." He's like, "We would call the house the garden because it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war, right?"
Yeah.
So we'd always call the house the garden, and then he would just be like, "You ready to protect the garden?" And then I'd be like, "Let's do it." I just put down the cereal. We'd go downstairs, and it would be like full on the like MMA fights in the garage with like no bell with just random people. So I was doing that like on Sundays on my rest day. So like when people are like, "Hey, you want to come get paid to fight a guy?" I'm like, "Dude, yeah, I'm gonna fight these maniacs at Syndicate MMA anyway." I mean, you don't know who's gonna pop in. Like anybody from the UFC might pop in, and they might be in a bad mood, and you got to spar that guy, and that's much more dangerous than 15 minutes with a regional guy who's probably really good regionally, but he's probably not 30 pounds heavier than me, and he's probably not fighting in the top 5 of the UFC anytime soon, and he's probably not got an anger issue, So
who's the scare? So I feel like you're describing Sean Strickland.
Yeah, I didn't want to say his name, but you guys already know the vibes.
Yep.
Yeah. So I've done a couple rounds with Sean. I believe there's even a picture of him stepping on my face on Instagram because I was trying to I saw some video online, and it was like, here's how to do this and that move from the guard or whatever, and he's like, the guard doesn't work, and he just starts standing on my fucking head, man, and I'm like, Sean, stop standing on me in front of people, so
did he?
And then he posted it. So
did he post it? Yeah.
He won the round.
Right.
Oh man,
he's becoming. So I mean, this is about you, real quick. He's becoming like an MMA legend over the last like 6-9 months.
Yeah. Sean's a G. Like I see a lot of badass dudes and like a lot of top guys, and then there's certain people that are in the UFC, but they're like they'll sit out with an injury, or like Sean's he wants to fight to the death against everybody at the gym. Doesn't matter. So I mean, sparring him was, I would say, in the category of extremely challenging. We'll put it like that.
I mean, he's the type of guy. He should have been born 1,000 years ago, fighting to the death in a Roman Coliseum.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. If I think he would take that as an option. And I've like talked to him about that. So yeah.
Pretty wild.
But yeah, so when there's a short notice fight, it's just like I've got into crazy situations in the gym, because I look at it like this, like, let's say somebody wants to do a round, and let's say, you're like, I don't know, man. Well, then, like, you're either going to get your ass beat or you're going to get punked. And I'm not a punk. So I would just rather take the L. So sometimes I'll just take the L, and then when it comes to a short notice fight with the guy that's in my own weight class, it's like, okay, perfect. Sign me up. I'm doing the same thing every
What do
day
you-
anyway, so I'd rather get paid.
What are your thoughts on Ben Hollier?
I don't know much about him. I heard he wrestled Division 1 and
Your
is
opponent.
pretty good at grappling. I guess he's a purple belt in the gi. One of my teammates, Vendetta 135, trained with him at some point. We didn't really discuss him. He just, I guess he's a good wrestler. 6-1. I'm approaching this as if it's my UFC debut, and he's UFC level, and I'm UFC level, and one of us is getting a contract and one of us isn't. So that's how I'm coming in here. So
I like that.
right, I'm expecting him to be good, and I'm expecting to finish him.
That's what people want to see is finishers, right?
Right. Yeah, and I'm fortunate that I am in Vegas at Syndicate, where we have the top guys on the planet coming in on a daily basis. And, we've got, 20 people in the UFC just locally at our gym. I have a really, really good assessment of where I am at in the food chain. And I think that might be the biggest advantage going into this, is that I know exactly where I'm at, and he may not know where he's at because he's fought more regionally and probably with not quite the same caliber of training partners.
Yeah.
So David, is the ultimate goal after this fight to get to the UFC is just to get that call?
Yeah, like I said, I'm a little bit out of my mind. So I'm 41 years old, and I believe performance over age, right? So like, if there were no calendars, how old would we be? We would just be like these physical human entities walking around in our bodies, and just like, hey, there's a caveman. I'm another caveman. Who wins the fight? Oh, that's the alpha caveman, right? Like, we wouldn't go, that guy's 29 and that guy's 25, so that guy's a prospect and this guy's not, and that guy's 41. So, dude, if the 41-year-old beats up the other two guys, he gets the honey and the meat, So that's how I'm looking at it. But yeah, I think it would be pretty cool to just kind of show people like, hey, here's what's possible. Here's this really, really hard goal. After 40, take fights. Win 3 fights in 5 months, get signed to UFC, go win fights in the UFC. And then like, people will be like, dude, how did you do that? And then, I could say like, anything's possible when you think clearly and you take right action. So
how long have you been training, David?
Over a decade. I'd say 15 years.
Okay. And how long have you been a pro fighter?
I turned pro in 2008. In Tampa, Florida, back when it was called St. Pete Times Forum, where the Lightning played.
Yeah.
Lightning. Extreme Fighting Championship?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay. So I'm looking at it now. So why, it seems like you've been pretty active. You had like a 9-year layoff from fighting.
Yes, sir. I was doing handstands at the beach in San Diego. I'm pretty, let's say, naturally confident. And I think that without competency, that can be overconfidence. So the metric that separates overconfidence from like genuine confidence is how competent you are. And I was pretty good at promoting myself back then. So I got 3 fights back to back. I beat a guy named Cody Gibson, who went on to fight in the UFC. And I had auditioned for the Ultimate Fighter. I made it to the final round of the interviews. It was for 170. They asked me, would I rather do 170 or 155? I said 155. That was a trick question. I was supposed to say, I'll fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. And then I didn't go on the Ultimate Fighter. I fought a guy I was sure I was going to beat. I didn't understand fighting. And when he didn't come forward, and he picked me apart, I had never experienced that in the gym because I had only experienced like 2 rams going forward and clashing heads. Yeah. I'd never experienced, up until that point, someone that was content fighting backing up and had range, and that was very like
counter striker.
Right. Counter striker, very elusive, didn't want to get into grappling exchanges, and was content to like be fast and slick for 15 minutes. So then I was like, okay, cool. Let me address that. So I thought I addressed that. I took another fight with a guy that was 0-1. What I didn't understand was that he had taken a 4-year layoff to just train. and he kicked me harder than I've ever been kicked in my life. And at that point I said, okay, I'm pretty competent on the ground, but I need to fix this stand-up issue. So I dedicated some time to working on my stand-up. I went on a spiritual journey, doing a lot of meditation at the beach. And then when I felt like I was ready to fight again, I had to make a decision. Is this something that I'd actually like to pursue? Because it's quite dangerous and you can get fucked up, right? So
Sure.
you gotta take that into account, that like, it's cool to be confident. I'm gonna win. But like, dude, you might die. Like, you might get your face broken. Yeah. I've had a broken nose and a broken orbital in a fight, and I didn't quit fighting. So even though I lost that fight, I learned something about myself. And moving forward, I had accurate information when I did fight again in August, that like, hey, this is extremely dangerous. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And that moving forward, you got to be willing to accept, like, there's really cool rewards, but there's grave risk and grave danger. And I had to look inside and make sure that's what I wanted to do. And when I realized that I would rather, die as a warrior than live with regret and wonder what I could have done, then I made the warrior's path and chose to walk that direction. So here we are. So
are you trying to be as active as possible right now till you get a call from the big show?
Yeah, I asked my manager if I could fight 3 guys in one night. So yeah,
well,
yeah, he's like almost, he's like looking at me out of the side of his eye half the time because he doesn't know if I'm playing or not. Like, he'll just say, hey, I got an opponent, and I'm like, dude, forge my signature. I'll show up on weight. And he's like, you don't want to know who it is? And I'm like, dude, like, anyone, bro, let's go. So,
well, I mean, if you're being totally honest, I think one of the biggest issues right now is that's an old school mentality, and I think it'll serve you well. But one of the toughest things right now is finding up and coming prospects that are trying to get to the next level. They do a little bit more, or their managers try to do a little bit more picking and choosing for them.
Right.
Instead of just fighting anybody, anywhere, anytime, which there could be some risk with that. But at the same time, it's like Dana's been pretty clear about, like, those are the type of guys that he wants to sign anyways.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I look at it like, for instance, on paper, I'm very aware that the promotion probably is bringing me into quote unquote lose. This guy's 6-1. He's younger than me. He lives probably closer to the area than I do. I'm prepared to butcher this man. And that's what it is. It's like, I understand where I'm at. I'm 41. I'm not looked at as a 25-year-old prospect, right? So I have to go out and fight these guys, and when they're young and they're good, and I've got to like destroy them in impressive fashion. And because of the training I'm getting at Syndicate in Las Vegas with the top fighters on the planet, there's guys with million+ Instagram followers that are like at the top of the food chain that have come in, and I've looked them dead in the eye and not taken a step back. And when you have the confidence to do that with guys that you've seen, like trained killers on TV that are sleeping people, when you walk in here against this guy, it's like, yeah, bro, it's me or you. And I'm prepared I'm totally comfortable with either option.
I love it.
So you guys better get your ticket for tomorrow night.
Yeah, come on out. This guy's going to try and take me down and elbow my skull in, and I'm going to try and rip him limb from limb and keep the fight on the feet and kick his head off of his shoulders. I plan to decapitate this man in front of his friends and his family. So if you are into that sort of thing, then I highly recommend you come down and watch me give an honest and fair attempt at doing such actions. Yeah.
I love it, David. I love it.
I might die in the process. So that's always fun.
Are you big in predictions? Do you want to predict what round you decapitate somebody in?
I've been beating most guys in the first round. These last 2 fights.
Yeah.
The last guy I fought, he had just under a 500 record, but he had 20 pro fights. He was a Division I wrestler as well. I felt absolutely zero threat on the feet. Neither one of my opponents landed a punch on me. Both of them wrestled in college to some extent, and I submitted both of them in the first round. I think this Ben Holier is probably a better grappler, but than they were in terms of like his actual jiu-jitsu. But that can backfire as well, because you might get a little more confident in a situation where he should be a little bit more guarded.
Cool.
All right. Hell yeah. David, do you have any sponsors you want to give a shout out to before we get out of here?
Yeah, richfighter.com. They help gyms crush 6 and 7 figures. So if you want to pack your gym with new members, check out richfighter.com. Contenders clothing. Yeah, I'll be wearing them at the weigh-ins. Yep, there you go. That's the hat right there. You guys already know the vibes. I'm wearing them in the I think those are the shorts. Actually, maybe I don't know.
Are those ones you're wearing?
No, I thought I wore those for a previous fight, but yeah, I'll be wearing their shorts for the fight and for the weigh-in. They have really cool stuff. They have like all the Rocky signature stuff, the Cobra Kai stuff, all that.
Yeah.
Farm extracts when you want to get that CBD and then accidentally get high like I did, because I've never done marijuana in my life. And they had something in one of them called Delta 8, because they just send me all the free stuff. And I'm like, oh, here's gummy bears. I want to use these so I feel better. Like, because sometimes you get sore after training and you want to just like just chill and like your body recovers. So I thought it was CBD, but it had something called Delta 8. Dude, I was teleporting. I didn't know where I was at. Right. So yeah, if you want to eat a gummy bear and teleport, and it's legal, and I believe in every state that allows for CBD. So go to Pharma Extracts. They're on Instagram and on the web. Who else do we got? We got Athlete Advantage, now called Pro Am Medical, for all your medical needs. If you're fighting, they get you in and out really quick. Yeah, man. I don't know. Let's just stop. The main thing is, I want to promote you guys, right? So we're here, Damage Plan MMA. Like, subscribe, click the bell, leave a comment. Look, we'll go through the comments. We'll read them. We do all that. So make sure you comment, share this with your friends, get the word out. These two guys are legit right here. They're bringing you like the up and coming future stars of MMA. Let's get it. Subscribe to the channel. Come down to Fierce Fighting. We're going to put on a crazy event. I'm going to knock this man out in impressive fashion, and then I'm going to go absolutely wild on the mic. So,
oh boy, I'll be in the cage interviewing you. So,
bro,
wait,
be prepared.
I want to do I want to do his interview.
They might throw Pepsi cups at us because I say what's on my mind. So they better be nice to me, or they're getting.
We'll let Chris go in then.
Okay.
We'll let Chris go in and do it. We'll let Chris go and do his interview. David, thanks, man. We appreciate it. If you haven't got your tickets, www.fiercefightingchampionship.com. Tickets start at only $23. Come and check out David fight tomorrow night. David, thanks again.
Man, that's less than a pizza and a beer. You get to see 20 guys go in there and fight, trying to kill each other, and the refs trying to stop them. Get those tickets. Let's go.
You the man, David. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you joining us.
Subscribe. Later, guys.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
We out.